If you've been watching the AI boom but still find yourself wondering, how do I actually make money with this? You are not alone. Here's what's mind blowing. Everyday people with no technical background, no special credentials are already generating 6 and 7 figure income streams with AI. And some of them started with nothing but curiosity, a willingness to learn, and an iPhone. They learned in public, shared and documented their journey, and people started paying attention. So that's your proof. It's already working for people just like you. In this tutorial, I'll show you my AI wealth creation blueprint. I'll give you 10 clear ways to start making money with AI in 2026. No fluff, no theory, just actionable strategies that are working for normal people who do not have years prior experience in the tech industry. You don't need to be the AI expert. You just need to be continuously learning and helping folks who are a few steps behind you. By the way, my name's Sabrina Ramanov. I previously built and sold an AI company for millions of dollars, and now I teach millions of people AI for free. So make sure you hit like and hit subscribe to my channel. All right, if you're ready, let's break it down. I've ordered this list from the easiest to start with to the hardest. And honestly, if you're watching this and you're a beginner in AI, 99% of people reading this list should start with number one. Okay, so these are 10 ways to start making money with AI, even if you're a beginner right now. But before I dive in, I just want to clarify one important point. The path to AI does not start with building a product or app. It starts with attention. If you've ever thought, I'm not an expert yet, that's exactly why this blueprint works. People don't want complexity or perfection from experts. They want to learn from people who are real. So the moment you shift from consuming social media to documenting and sharing what you learn on social media, your life trajectory will drastically improve. Path number one, which is the easiest to start with, is to become an AI education influencer. Even if you're a beginner, this path is open to you. Again, you don't need to be miles ahead of everyone else. You just need to keep learning one step at a time and share what you learn along the way. So at a high level, how this works is learn something new about AI today. It could be a prompt, it could be a new tool that just came out, it could be a workflow automation. Learn it and then share it on social media the next day. Even if you're still figuring it out, talk about that transparently. Here's what you tried, here's what worked, here's what didn't work. And all you have to do is rinse and repeat these two steps over and over again to build attention over time. And as you attract an audience, a following, you can turn that into income. So many influencers traditionally do sponsorships, brand deals, share affiliate links, etc. However, you will want to be picky which tools you promote to your audience because you don't want to nuke the trust that you've just built up. AI companies, however, are flush with capital right now, so they are literally throwing money at AI education influencers to promote their AI products. I'm going to share 2 examples with you who do it really, really well. The first one is Brand Nat. She's one of my favorite creators on TikTok and personally inspired me to get started. This is one of her videos that is actually a paid partnership. You can see the label down here. She's basically sharing a fast AI PC for content creators, which is pretty cool. Here's another TikTok channel, and it consists entirely of 100% sponsored video. This channel is teaching people tips and tricks to make faceless videos and generate income doing so. And every single video you view here is sponsored by an AI video generation tool. This is one of the easiest paths to start with, and it's awesome because you get to learn AI anyway. That's what you want to do anyway. And then you just share what you've learned along the way. I give people a very simple formula. Day one, learn something about AI. It could be following along a YouTube tutorial like one of mine. It could be experimenting with a new ChatGPT prompt. It could be playing around with a new AI tool that just came out. It could be talking about your experience teaching AI to other people, what you've observed and learned through the process. Learn it on day one. Day two, share it on social media. You just alternate that again and again. Day one, learn. Day two, share. Day one, learn. Day two, share. Eventually, as you grow an audience, you will have all kinds of routes to monetize it. The traditional influencer route is to do things like I talked about here, brand deals, sponsored videos, etc. Number 2 on the list is running AI education workshops and training. I would also lump things like speaking events into this path. And some of the biggest money makers in AI aren't selling software or apps or brand deals or partnerships. They're selling clarity, especially for businesses who are hearing about AI, feeling FOMO, and really not sure how to adopt it effectively. When you host AI education workshops, workshops and training, you are helping others understand AI's potential and, most importantly, how to fit it into your business. Because that level of insight, customers will pay for it. They want the shortcut. They want to know right now, how can we upskill our team? How can we be more efficient using AI right now? So similar to number one, you actually start with content to power your funnel, stay consistent, and then opportunities will find you. So when you're doing path number one, making AI education and content, you'll notice you'll get inbound opportunities, not just for sponsorships and brand deals like we talked about in path number one. You're also going to get inbound opportunities for things like coaching, consulting, training, workshops, speaking engagements, etc. I'll give you two examples of people who are doing this right now successfully. So Brooke Wright is an AI educator and consultant, and she hosts workshops. Actually, later today, she'll be teaching for free how to partner with local business chambers and networks to host paid AI education workshops. She's built up her AI education workshop business over the past 12 months successfully. Another example, another favorite AI influencer of mine who inspired me to get started is Kyle Balmer. He used to run AI workshops for businesses, and for each workshop, he'd charge between $1,500 to $4,000 per workshop. Now he sells a workshop kit that teaches you how to run your own AI workshops for businesses from scratch. Now, the key point I want to make here is that you can start with path number one and eventually transition to path number two, like we talked about here. You can start with making high quality AI education, teaching what you're learning as well. And as you get inbound opportunities to do more workshops and training and consulting and coaching, then you can decide whether that's the right path for you. But it's a very, very popular path when you start with number one and then you transition to number two. Even today, even though I say everywhere that I don't do consulting, training, etc., I get daily inbound requests to do number two. Path number three is to sell AI digital information products. This could be workflow automation templates, prompt packs, AI education courses, whether static or cohort based. This could be a paid subscription newsletter. The key point here is once you build an audience from doing step one, then information products are honestly a natural next step. Now, my mission is to keep all of my AI education free, but there are many AI influencers who do sell information products. You can even use AI to help you design, write, and promote them. So you have a full circle stack with AI helping you out with content creation, creating the offer, and then marketing the offer. So two awesome examples of this is the Write with AI paid newsletter. It recently hit 400,000 in annual recurring revenue, offering gated access to high quality chat GPT prompts for writing. Another awesome example of this is Louisa Jarofsky, who built an audience interested in AI governance and ethics, and now she monetizes her audience through a combination of influencer sponsorships, which is what we talked about in path one, right? And she also offers live cohort-based courses, specifically AI governance training, which over 1,300 professionals have gone through. The key point here is this is, again, not mutually exclusive with option number one. In fact, I don't recommend that people just start with this step. I always recommend starting with option number one, because then you build your expertise and you build a voice that people trust, and then you can organically transition into selling AI digital information products that are high quality. Path number four is AI faceless videos and slideshows. Now, I believe there's a lot of misinformation around how you properly monetize these, so I'm going to attempt to dispel that. I'm still quite bullish on AI faceless videos and slideshows, but it's for a reason people don't expect. So everyone's heard of faceless AI content, and it appeals to millions of people because the promise is that you don't have to show your face and you can still print money. A lot of people don't want to show their face on social media. They don't want to build a brand. They just want the outcome, the money. In fact, I own a really big faceless account in this space. It has many viral videos made with my own app, Potato, like millions and millions and millions of views, as you can see here. But in my opinion, a lot of revenue and income claims related to faceless content are misleading. The most lucrative monetization path for faceless content is not platform rewards. It's not TikTok paying you rewards or even YouTube paying you rewards based on the number of views you get. Instead, if you attach a link to your community, product, affiliate offer, or other offer, then your AI generated faceless content can drive serious revenue. You can use AI tools like Sora 2 and VO3 to create ultra realistic viral scenes or make viral TikTok slideshows and Instagram carousels. This is my favorite place to hang out and get inspiration for different types of viral content. content. This website, Social Growth Engineers, basically documents the most viral apps on TikTok and Instagram. And it's not just viral for the sake of views to get rewards from the platform. Like I said, it's way more effective to get viral views and link it to some kind of offer, whether it's a product, a community, affiliate link, whatever it is. And so this website documents tons and tons of case studies. And what's cool with Sora 2 and VO3 is now you can replicate a lot of these viral formats without having to hire a traditionally large team of UGC creators. Okay, so click around this website a bit, click explore, click apps. There is going to be this annoying paywall to everything, right? But you can actually subscribe to this newsletter completely for free, which is what I do. So for example, here, most read this week, AI UGC makes 64 million views from one account. New Sora VO3 rapper app, insane viral format, 9 million views in 6 days. The format behind this app's 108 million views, 200 million views in the winning format. The reason why I'm bullish on Faceless video and slideshow generation is because you can now recreate like incredibly viral scenes and viral hooks for a fraction of the price. However, there's often still a human behind the creative process figuring out, oh, here's what we should A/B test this week. Here's what we should experiment this week in terms of visual hooks or visual formats. So I don't want you to think that these are all completely automated. There's typically a team of highly creative people behind this making this content. Key thing to understand here is the monetization is not from like TikTok paying you 100,000 views. It's not from YouTube paying you whatever RPM from 1,000 views. They're making money here by making incredibly viral social media videos and then driving people to some kind of app, offer, or community. Here's one app, for example, that hit 90,000 MRR just from viral slideshows, which you can recreate with high fidelity, especially with tools like Nano Banana 2. So this is my favorite website to browse through when I'm looking for inspiration, especially consumer viral social formats. And again, what's really neat is with Sora 2 and VO3, you can experiment with a lot of these formats for really cheap instead of having to traditionally hire a really big team to do these experiments. Option number 5 is affiliate marketing for AI tools you believe in. Not everything you promote has to be your own. In fact, I think affiliate marketing is a nice entry point for you to really understand marketing and try lots of different products and get a sense for which products you believe in long term. So if there's an AI tool you genuinely love, you can become an affiliate and you can look for generous affiliate programs that offer a long recurring commission or a strong first month payout, like 50% of the sign up. In fact, for Blotato, this is what I offer, 50% of the first month payments. And you can educate people through content and tutorials like YouTube tutorials showing here's how to use the tool to achieve XYZ outcome. You don't have to spam people. I know affiliate marketing can get a bad rep because you're just like generating AI slop spam. You don't have to do that. You can create really high quality educational long form YouTube videos and place your affiliate link in the description for people who are pretty seriously interested in trying out the tool. So here's a deep dive into the economics behind affiliate marketing, why it works wonders for both B2C and B2B brands, and sample companies crushing it with their affiliate program. So this deep dive is actually written by a self-service affiliate tool that I use, and it's really, really effective. It completely runs on autopilot. And even though I don't share specific numbers publicly, I can attest for sure that affiliate marketing has been a really, really awesome growth channel for my own app. You scroll all the way to the bottom of this deep dive, you can see sample companies and their SaaS affiliate programs, their commission structure, the cookie window. And even though all of these companies listed here are not AI native companies, most of them are over 10 years old, all of them are pushing AI heavy features, right? So you could do tutorials showing people, hey, here's how to use AI within the Shopify ecosystem, or here's how to use AI within the HubSpot ecosystem. And that would be a cool way to stand out and share your affiliate links with high quality educational content. Now, again, I'll emphasize that this path, okay, we just talked about number 5, is not mutually exclusive with the other things we talked about. You could imagine doing AI faceless slideshows to promote your affiliate marketing product, right? So these two can go hand in hand, or number 1 and number 5 can go hand in hand. You can build up your AI education brand, and then maybe once a week you do a tutorial showing how to use a specific AI tool and you share your affiliate link within that content. What I really want people to understand is that I've ordered this list in a very specific way so that basically number one is kind of a foundational building block. You cannot go wrong by starting with number one. And it's the reason why I hammer it again and again when people ask me, how do I make money with AI? 99.99% of the time, unless you have a very specific set of skills or a deeply technical background, I'm going to recommend number one. Option number 6 is to launch an AI community, which is becoming increasingly popular for YouTube AI influencers as well as Instagram AI influencers. And it's powerful because knowledge and learning alone is great. It's empowering, but collective knowledge is incredibly powerful too. Whether it's a technical group building out AI automations or a money-focused community, how to make your first $10,000 per month with AI, people are truly willing to pay for access, insights, and to be surrounded by other winners. I generally recommend hosting your community on School because there's built-in organic discoverability, and a lot of people interested in AI are already in School. So that solves another problem where, different communities are scattered all over the place and people don't check Facebook groups or people don't check their other community app. And then all you have to do to drive traffic to your community is to create short-form content on TikTok or Instagram or long-form YouTube tutorials and tell people to check out your community if they're interested in exclusive access to XYZ. For example, Nick was the winner of School Games. He had the highest grossing School community the past year, and he makes $4 million per year while keeping 92% of the profit, according to this LinkedIn post from about a month ago. And I'm going to show you, here's a slightly older post from him 4 months ago, breaking down the exact income streams, right? You can see his School community, i.e. AI education, meaning number one, the number one item I keep telling you to focus on, that is actually his largest income stream by far. And his funnel is very simple. He makes high quality educational YouTube videos that entice viewers to join his community, especially if you really want to understand how to sell AI automations and make income doing so. By the way, this is the same exact playbook that all of the top School communities in AI are using today in 2025 and 2026 that are generating over $100,000 per month. What's crazy is that Nick has extreme high leverage in this model. He has 0 hires, 0 community managers, 0 onboarding calls, only 1 call per week, and it's only 90 minutes a day of effort and incredibly high margin. It's the particular combination of a community platform like School that is being pushed by Hormozy and now widely adopted so that everyone can actually use the same community app instead of being spread across 5 different community apps, right? This was a really painful problem to solve, and School has solved it. Number 2, the concentration of people interested in AI who are already on School specifically. So let's say they join one paid community, it's easy for them to find additional paid communities to join because they're all in the same place, right? So you have massive interest in AI, you have the community platform where everybody is congregating, and then you have the power of organic social media distribution as your primary funnel, your primary way to get people interested in AI to your paid community. So that's why you're seeing AI communities on School becoming increasingly popular among AI education influencers. If you look at most of the AI communities today, the main person running it started with number one. They started as an AI education influencer and then eventually decided to monetize by launching a paid exclusive community. It's honestly very hard to just start by launching a community and have no traction on social media, no audience, and expect to grow this community from scratch. You're going to end up having to do a lot of number one anyway to grow your AI community from scratch. And just reiterating that 99.999% of people watching this video or reading this newsletter right now should start with number one because it doesn't close off anything on the list. In fact, number one is often the foundation to be successful in everything else on this list. And you can always pick and choose. You can change your mind. There are a lot of AI influencers who started heavily monetizing through sponsorships and brand deals and realized, hey, they didn't like it. They don't want to pitch certain products or they don't like the inconsistent revenue streams in doing that. And they pivoted to a different model, such as an AI community, or they pivoted to selling digital information products like courses. My point again is that number one is the foundation, the bedrock to be successful in any of these other paths. Path number 7 is AI consulting services. And no, you don't have to write code or be technical to do AI consulting. If you understand a space or niche or industry deeply, you can teach, you can coach, and you can advise companies. You can upskill teams through hosting internal workshops. You can advise on their AI adoption roadmaps, their gaps, their hiring plans. You're more of a translator of what's possible with AI and what a particular business should do rather than a technician implementing AI automations from scratch. We'll get there as well. That is definitely another option, but you don't have to be technical or writing code full time to do AI consulting. In fact, this is a great segue talking about paid exclusive communities. I recently spoke at Tony Robbins and Dean Graciosi's Zenith Mastermind, which costs $250,000 to be a member of, right? I was a featured guest speaker, by the way, sharing how I use AI as a solopreneur. These were a list of my 3 takeaways, but these 2 are relevant for AI consulting. Number 1 is that most successful founders and CEOs are still absolute beginners when it comes to learning AI and what's possible with AI. So if you've been learning AI like the past several months, you're honestly probably much further along than you realize compared with most people today. And then tying into point number 2, every person I met at that mastermind, especially after my presentation, believes in the potential of AI, but they all want to just hire someone else to figure it out and implement it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be technical. You can play an advisory consulting role where you understand a business's core processes, map out where and how AI is going to be applied, and help the company build out an internal team or hire external help to actually implement the strategy, right? So you don't have to necessarily do it yourself unless you want to. There was very little to zero desire for these leaders to fundamentally re-architect their company's core functions in the age of AI. They really just want to hire a consultant or build out an internal team to figure this stuff out. And again, AI consulting could include upskilling an existing team by hosting workshops specifically tailored to that business. So instead of a generic workshop, here's how to turn on ChatGPT, you could have a workshop of like, here's exactly how to use Microsoft Copilot and the sets of prompts you can use, or automations that somebody should build to streamline tedious processes, right? And then you can help the company hire the right person for that role. So the key point here I want to make is that there are all different ways to provide consulting, to approach consulting. It's not just, I'm going to build automations. It could be an advisory role. It could be gaps analysis. You could help a company build out internal AI skills or build out an internal AI team. And there's a ton of demand for this. Like I said, like these were the top 2 things I learned, which is that most founders and CEOs are operators and they are still in the beginning stages when it comes to learning AI. They're aware of it and they don't want to be left behind, but they just want to hire someone else to figure it out and implement it, which is a massive, massive, massive opportunity for you. Option number 8 is AI automation services. Like I said, you could start with AI consulting that is non-technical. And if you want, you can offer or transition to building out the actual automations for these businesses. Because some businesses don't just want strategic walkthroughs and advice, they want real results implemented today. So if you're good at building out workflow automations in N8N or Make.com, there's still massive opportunity to build and sell AI automation services, either as a consultant or as a formal AI automation agency. Now, it's a very messy process, but it can be highly profitable. I say that it's messy to warn people because I do see a lot of people jumping into selling AI automation services who don't even enjoy building and troubleshooting automations or like understanding a business's core problems and workflows and desired outcomes, and then mapping it to what workflow automations you'd have to build. It's a very messy process because every business looks a little bit different. They might have outdated systems that don't allow for easy access through workflow automation tools. Many systems don't have a formal API, or their API breaks all of the time, or you have to sync data across multiple systems. And so it's actually quite messy once you go into a business and realize like all the different disparate tools that they're using don't connect as seamlessly as you like. And then you have to build out custom flows and workarounds to get your desired system working. So it's a messy process. It's a chaotic process, but again, it can be highly profitable as long as you truly enjoy working closely with clients, understanding their most important pain points, and then building and maintaining workflows that are going to break all the time. So, like troubleshooting technical workflows is really important that you enjoy that or somebody on your team enjoys that. However, I will caveat this one by saying you'll find that most people teaching you how to form AI automation agencies actually make more money through their AI education. Again, point number one, either through selling you a course on how to make an AI automation agency or selling you a community that teaches you how to build an AI automation agency. So if you actually look at the breakdown of most teachers in this space, they actually make way more money through AI education than through their own AI automation agency. Now, this doesn't mean it's not profitable, but it is important for you to understand. And that is why I keep repeating everybody should start with item number one, AI education. What kinds of AI automation services are businesses actually looking to pay for, and what tools should you learn? So, this is a viral Reddit thread about 5 months ago, and this person scraped every automation job posted on Upwork for the last 6 months. And here's what 500 plus clients are begging us to build. So, in terms of top skills and platforms you should learn, Python for scripting, and then N8N and Make, and then web scraping and APIs, which is awesome. Automated content creation is a huge use case, right? As well as Google Workspace automation, lead generation, data extraction and parsing, and sales through cold outreach and DM automations. Common pain points, lead generation is a really big one, right? Like the easiest sale ever is I can help you get more business. It's the easiest sales pitch ever, but it can be hard to deliver that. So make sure you can back up that claim. Exact automations that clients paid for, WhatsApp to GPT lead qualification, and then inserting it into your CRM, auto reply automations that help you qualify and follow up with leads quickly, browser automations for scraping and follow-ups, and N8N flows that monitor RSS feeds and creates customized content that does not sound like it was written by AI. And I can tell you, someone who's hired on Upwork, and I see a lot of automation posts on Upwork as well, this is absolutely spot on. Python for scripting and N8N and Make are absolutely the tools of choice. And then things like lead generation, content creation, and duct taping, all of your different disparate services are huge use cases that businesses are willing to pay for. In fact, what I'm seeing is an emerging internal role like an AI automations expert or AI automations engineer. But most businesses starting out with this stuff will just hire a person externally to come in and help with this, which is why there's a really huge opportunity around AI automation services. But again, my caveat here is like, try building AI automations for 3 months or so and see if you even enjoy it. Because I do feel that this particular path is being marketed to a lot of people who are not a good fit for this particular opportunity. And now you may be wondering, how do you actually get clients for number 7 and number 8 that we talked about? And no surprise, you again start with sharing AI education online. Like I said before, as an AI education influencer, I get dozens and dozens of inbound opportunities every single day. And a subset of those opportunities are companies requesting me for AI consulting and building out AI automations. Now, I don't do either of those things, but every single day, no matter how many times I say I don't do those things, every single day, I get inbound opportunities and requests to do these two things. Now, the last two options I'm going to talk about are honestly some of the hardest. So I really don't recommend starting with options 9 or 10 unless you have a ton of business and or technical experience and you're pretty confident that you can do it, okay? But I'm going to mention these two anyway because I know a lot of people are considering these two options and you're not sure whether you should consider them, right? So I'm trying to put it into perspective. This list was ordered from easiest to what I believe to be the hardest paths. That doesn't mean you can't monetize them. In fact, every single one of these paths I've listed here can be largely monetized to much higher revenue numbers than you probably believe is possible right now. But I can assure you there are examples of people making 6 and 7 figure incomes with each one of these paths. Number 9 is white labeling AI powered software. So you don't need to build software from scratch in order to make money from software. For example, a really popular tool to white label is the Go High Level CRM. And what people do is they'll white label it, they'll tailor it for a specific niche, for example, real estate, HVAC, plumbers, or insurance, right? Just choose one. And then what you'll do is you'll have your own snapshot containing battle-tested AI workflows for the most common processes such as outbound sales, inbound lead qualification and appointment setting, automated lead follow-up, get them to your appointment, to the sale, automated support chats, etc. And normally you would charge for a setup fee that's a bit larger, making sure everything is set up and working smoothly, and then an ongoing monthly service or maintenance fee. There's honestly huge potential here, especially if you focus on one vertical and focus on building AI-powered workflows within Go High Level CRM. However, this path requires more technical know-how and realistically budget to hire someone to help you maintain and also implement this for each client. Again, that's why it's near the bottom of my list, because there's just more upfront requirements in terms of knowing how to use Go High Level. It's a beast of a platform. So if you're not the one who's going to take the time to learn it, then you need to hire someone. And there's also a lot of ongoing work to ensure the clients are happy. Just like in any agency model, you need to show ongoing performance. Are your AI-powered workflows saving X number of hours per week or bringing in an additional X dollars of closed business per month or per year? Number 10 on the list is vibe coding products and apps. Vibe coding refers to using AI to help you build simple MVPs, landing pages, simple websites. Oftentimes people transition from what's known as vibe coding to AI-assisted coding with tools like Cursor or Claude Code or Gemini 3 or Codex. I believe this is the hardest path out of all 10, but it also has the biggest upside, because if you are able to build a SaaS product, for example, to 1 million in annual recurring revenue, you typically get a revenue multiple of 5 to 20x revenue at the time of your acquisition if you decide to sell the company. What that means is that your 1 million in annual recurring revenue could be acquired for $5 to $20 million if you decide to sell the company. The biggest mistake I see with vibe coding education right now and people who are trying to vibe code is they start with really complicated PRDs. Now, PRD is actually a well-known accepted term in technology. The way it's being used in vibe coding education that you see online right now is actually very misleading. You don't want a super complicated PRD detailing everything about your app. Instead, you want to think about it from the customer's point of view. What is the one pain point or one problem that they have today? And how exactly is your app going to help them solve that problem in the first 30 seconds of using your product? So what I normally see when people start vibe coding is they'll invest time making this super complicated, super long PRD. You feel really proud of it, but honestly, it's way too complicated already from the beginning. The correct and more efficient vibe coding process is to start with one simple feature that just solves one problem, make sure that works really well, test the heck out of it, and then add one more feature. Keep going from there iteratively. So you start small and then you add something small, test it heavily. Start small, add something small, test it heavily. And that is the correct iteration process, rather than starting with a super complicated, complex, long PRD where you don't even know what's happening in it. Now, it's really cool about vibe coding, and the space is absolutely exploding because tools are getting so much better. You can truly build things that are, I would say, beginner to intermediate level complexity. This case study from Lovable is about a women's safety app that this person grew to USD 450,000 in annual recurring revenue. And it was built by a non-technical person, a growth marketer turned first-time founder. Okay, then they walk through the builder's background, building the app, which is called Plink. Okay, here's a screenshot of it. Here are the features and functionality. She's actually trying to raise money for investments, but you could imagine bootstrapping this and not taking any investor money at all. In fact, that's what I did for my own vibe-coded app, right? Blotato.com. So I built the original version of this in Cursor AI, and I documented my whole journey. It's on YouTube. If you go to my channel, search Build SaaS with AI, and you can see me hackily building this together with Cursor AI over a year ago, right? And I've not taken any investor money for it. It's extremely profitable. It does take a lot of work to build the product and maintain it, but that's the kind of stuff I enjoy because that's my background. So I really don't recommend path number 10 to most people. Even if you have a deeply technical background, you would be better served in the long term by focusing on number 1 over here. In fact, that's what I've done. Earlier this week, I posted about 3 things I learned vibe coding Blotato to profitability, and my entire strategy can be summarized as AI plus social. For literally $0, I reach at least 1.5 million plus people per week. And a lot of people see Blotato and they see the brand that I built and they think, oh, AI is like the driving factor behind all of this success. And it's true that AI is obviously an incredible way for me to create leverage and scale myself. But most people honestly do not give enough credit to social media, particularly the maturity of the social platforms and the incredible free $0 organic reach that you can get. As a result of building my brand first, meaning I focused on number one, and then I kind of accidentally ended up vibe coding a product I didn't mean to, but I started to, and it was fun and it was successful, and I kept going. But because I started with number one, number 10 became so much easier because I had instant distribution. Blotato was instantly profitable, meaning I didn't like second guess myself and have low conviction whether I should continue. I've always had a constant stream of users trying my product and giving me feedback. And so even if you are pursuing this, I still think it's much easier, to be honest, if you focused on this first for the first 6 to 12 months at least, and then transition to vibe coding products. You can definitely do both. I see a lot of people who are trying to do both, but in my opinion, that kind of burns you out faster. I personally would recommend starting with number one because it's significantly easier, doesn't require any technical background, and every single person watching this video can get started today, and then let that momentum build up, then decide which of these paths you want to pursue for monetization. So here's how it all works together in this AI wealth creation blueprint. Here's what actually creates momentum. Like I said, start with number one, start with high quality, free AI education content. Day one, learn stuff. Day two, share it on social media. Share what you learned and be real. That is what's truly going to build trust. And then as you snowball this effect, as you have a compounding flywheel of acquisition in terms of follower growth and audience growth, then you can start to layer on other models, whether you decide to sell information products or do affiliate marketing or launch your own school community or do AI consulting or automations. Whatever you decide to do later, it's going to be massively easier if you start with number one as your foundation. Almost every profitable AI influencer you see on social media followed this path. So again, to recap, the very first step is to learn one AI concept, prompt, automation, trick, or tool, and then post what you learned tomorrow and literally repeat that until you reach 100,000 followers at least. And to be realistic, give yourself at least 12 months to snowball this momentum. In my opinion, people rush to monetize too early when they should focus on snowballing their momentum on social media first. I personally feel that I built Blotato too soon and honestly should have spent another 6 to 12 months exclusively focused on content creation and unlocking new channels. The other thing I'll mention is the most underrated advantage in this whole process is volume. It's the invisible multiplier that most people ignore. I first started making content, I listened to a Hormozy talk where he said his team publishes 300 posts per week. Now, his team costs many thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars per month. But I thought to myself, if I could do a fraction of that volume with AI, maybe I'd achieve a fraction of his results. Fast forward 1.5 years later, and it's all come true. That's why I believe even today, volume of posting is severely underrated when you're just starting out. Volume is how you collect the data you need to understand what makes a good post, what makes a quality post. So to recap, my serious advice for those of you who have listened to the end of this video and you truly feel like I must do this now. Number one, stop making excuses. I hear all kinds of excuses. I'll share a few later. Number two, post 5 times a day for the next year. Number three, start with TikTok because the algorithm is the most generous and it teaches you how to be a good creator faster. Eventually, you'll start cross-posting to Instagram and other platforms, but just start with TikTok. Now, I'm going to dispel a couple of excuses and myths. Everyone is on TikTok or Instagram, so don't fall for the excuse, my audience isn't on social media. I have literally had multiple C-level executives at public and private multi-billion-dollar companies you've heard of. They've reached out to me via social media. Also, what tools you use don't matter. A lot of people spin their wheels like trying to figure out the perfect AI tool setup for posting on social media. It it doesn't matter. In fact, I would almost argue you should just not start with any tools and just start posting, because the biggest thing that stops people is their mindsets, the insecurities that come up, the second guessing that comes up. That is the biggest thing that stops people. And like trying to perfect your AI tool setup is just another excuse. Really, nothing matters except posting 5 times a day for 1 year straight. And that level of volume will truly help you get over yourself and your insecurities, which is, again, usually what stops people. When I first started creating content, I felt all the things. I felt imposter syndrome. I felt insecurity because of how I looked and how I sounded. I felt unsure if like making videos would be a good thing. I knew that people in Silicon Valley looked down on TikTok. Like it was a joke when I first started. Okay. Obviously, those same people have come around and everybody asks for advice, but not when I started. I dealt with all of these insecurities. And honestly, you just have to like not care and keep going and do the volume that I'm telling you to do. Post 5 times a day for 1 year straight. Now, the purpose of this tutorial is to help you choose one path to start, because everybody asks me, how do I make money with AI? Even though I think it's kind of a malformed premise, I understand the motivation behind that question. I do. But the reality is, any of these paths we've talked about today can be successfully monetized and to much higher income numbers than you believe is possible. But the main thing that separates people who succeed with this AI wealth creation blueprint is that they stick to one path for a consistently long time, enough time to get lucky to succeed, enough time to actually build momentum and build that compounding success. If you're serious about this, commit for at least 1 year, ideally 5 years. Like, I'm not even joking. When I started content creation, in my mind, it was a 5 year timeline that I was committing to. And this is the brutal, honest truth that I tell my closest family and friends, even though nobody wants to hear it. But again, if you've watched all the way to the end of this video, if you've read to the end of this newsletter, that is my very honest advice for you.